Square Enix. Ivalice Alliance. That's cool. Sword in hand, a warrior clutches stone to breast. In sword etched, his fading memories. In stone, his tempered skill. It sounds really loud to me, by the way. By sword attested, by stone revealed. That's a little better. Square Enix presents the Zodiac Brave story. Yeah, there was a Twisted Metal game on there, I think. Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions, Emergence. So this is a mod of Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, which is a remake of Final Fantasy Tactics for the PS1. Not sure if there's more to this, but yeah, so Final Fantasy Tactics was originally on the PS1. Hey, Steven, what's up? Then they remade the game. Oh, I guess it just goes back to this. Okay, well. Then they remade the game and called it The War of the Lions on the PSP. And added some stuff to it. I guess we'll do the tutorial, why not? Might as well. And then this is Emergence, which is a mod of the PSP version, which changes some things, adds a lot of quality of life stuff and things here and there. I don't even know most, and I've never actually played the PSP version. I've seen a playthrough of it years ago, but I wanted to play it, and I figured I would play this since it's a better version. I've been pretty excited for this, so let's see. So here's Master Darlavon. A lot of names have been changed from the PSP version and the PS1 version. His name was Daravon, now it's Darlavon. Wars are fought with wits and wisdom. Learn all you can here to prepare for what lies ahead. It's 1:32 p.m., by the way. September 18th, 2020. Party roster. So we're going to go through the tutorial. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can just skip this. Emergence is a mod of War of the Lions. The party roster. Now then, let us begin the lesson. This session will give you an overview of the party roster, the information it contains, and the actions you may perform from the screen. But first, let me remind you that to access the party roster, you must press triangle while on the world map to open the main menu. Selecting party roster from the main menu will bring up the screen you see now. Yeah, so if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can probably skip the tutorial if you want to. But I figured I'd just go through it. Let's take a closer look at the various pieces of information you may glean from the party roster. Upon entering the party roster, you will be presented with a list of your units. You said unit. The bottom portion of the screen displays the status of the currently selected unit. Oh, wow, thanks. Here you may browse the party roster and view each unit's basic status. You may also use the analog stick to change the information displayed below the units. Oh. That's interesting. I think in the PS1 version you pushed, like, select or something? I'm not sure. As you can see, you may quickly get an overview of the entire party by examining the party roster. Let's proceed to the next screen. By pressing X, you may view detailed information about the currently selected unit. Cool. Red magics? What? Red magics? Excuse me? Originally, I think the Squire ability was called Basic Skills or something. Now it's Red Magics, apparently. Squires are Red Mages, apparently. Pressing X again brings up a list showing the unit's progress in each of the jobs currently available to him or her. Squire. Pressing X yet again brings up a list showing the unit's progress and the various abilities inherent to the selected job. Oh, that's that's like a European thing. Magic can be spelled with a C or a K, or both. It's just like a preference thing. Pressing the left and right buttons allows you to cycle through the various ability categories. I actually prefer it with a CK myself. You may view all of the information I have just mentioned from the party roster. Yeah, Ivalice is pretty much Europe, more or less. While viewing any of these windows, you may use the L and R buttons to cycle through the units in your party. This makes it easy to view detailed information on any unit. Nice. Cleric. Cleric instead of priest. I think wizard's still wizard. Next, let's turn to the commands available from the party menu. Press triangle while viewing the party roster or any of the status windows to bring up the party menu. This is the party menu. Use the equipment command to equip and organize items in your inventory. Use the abilities command to select new abilities to learn and to assign the abilities you wish to use during battle. Audio. As units gain experience, they are able to take on different jobs. You know, like Garbage Man. Carefully consider the role a unit is to play in battle before using the job command to assign a new job to him or her. Or it. Select Dismiss to remove units who are no longer useful to the party, or monsters of which you have too many. Yeah, you can get monsters in this game, which is interesting. Use the Sort Units command to sort the party roster according to any one of several criteria. You may sort the party roster as follows. Number, level, job, max HP, max MP, bravery, faith. The equipment and ability commands are vital when preparing your units for battle. But before you may equip your units and assign them abilities, you must fully understand the attributes displayed on the status screen. In the lessons to follow, I shall explain the meaning of the various attributes, and how to equip items from your inventory. I shall also explain how to acquire new abilities, and how to assign those abilities for use in battle. No, defense staff? Huh. The preparations you make before battle are of the utmost importance. Go into battle prepared, and you shall be well on your way to victory. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. I think we got an A+ in that class. The status screen. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, we shall discuss the detailed information available to you on the status screen. Danielle. Interesting way to spell Danielle. This information forms the foundation on which you must build an understanding of your units. So pay close attention. There is much to cover, so let us start from the top left and work from there. The unit's portrait appears in the upper left corner of the screen. They usually have a stupid look on their face. Usually, but not always. The number to the top right of the portrait is the unit's level. Vegastar is usually in level 1. As the unit's level increases, his or her HP, MP, and speed increase, as do his or her attack and magic attributes. A unit's level increases by 1 for every 100 experience points earned. That's usually how it is in strategy games. Not always, but usually you gain 100 experience and then you level up. Experience is displayed directly to the right of the unit's level. Units earn experience during battle, obviously. Dealing damage to an enemy using physical or magic attacks will earn a unit EXP. However, no experience is earned if the attack fails. Yeah. You don't get a medal just for participation, folks. The bars and numbers beneath level and EXP are the HP, MP, and CT gauges. HP represents a unit's general physical well-being. As a unit takes damage during battle, his or her HP will decrease. The left number is the unit's current HP, which is usually 0 for Vegastar. And the right number is the unit's maximum HP. You must pay close attention to your unit's remaining HP during battle. If a unit takes enough damage to reduce his or her HP to 0, he or she is KO'd and can no longer participate in battle. MP represents a unit's capacity for casting spells. Casting magics consumes MP. The more powerful the magic, the more MP it'll cost to cast. Not always, but that's the general rule of thumb. Once a unit's MP reaches 0, he or she may no longer cast magics, so use it wisely. The CT gauge represents a unit's charge time. With each tick of the game clock, the gauge fills by an amount equal to the unit's speed. So it's basically like your ATB gauge, more or less. It gets to 100 and you get a turn. When the CT gauge reaches 100, the unit's turn begins, and he or she is free to perform an action. Pretty simple, really. In battle, you can get an idea of when a unit may take his or her next turn by looking at his or her CT gauge. During actual battles, however, a number displaying the turn order appears to the left of a unit's level. Now let us examine the panel to the right. The indicator shows the side to which the selected unit belongs. During battle, the indicator color will tell you whether the unit is friendly or hostile. Hostile bastages. The number to the right is the unit's roster number. You may have up to 24 units in your party at any given time. The rest will have to be fired. To the right of the roster number is the unit's name. Beneath the name is the unit's current job. As they amass experience, units can take on a variety of new jobs. To the bottom left of the unit's job, you will find his or her Zodiac sign. Oh yeah. He's an Aries. What a jerk. Some signs are more compatible with others. For example, Aries is said to be compatible with Leo. I'm a Leo. Although, overall, the Zodiac signs don't really matter that much, just little bits. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. This compatibility determines the effectiveness of attacks and magic. Attacking an opponent with a compatible sign will deal greater damage. Likewise, damage to opponents with opposing signs will be reduced. Not by a whole lot, but, you know, little bits here and there. To the right of a unit's sign, you will find his or her bravery and faith, which are pretty important status that you can't really affect much, since they don't really go up with level. It depends on the character, really. A unit's bravery has various effects in battle. The higher the value, the more brave a unit is, affecting barehanded attacks and the use of reaction abilities. Also, the higher the bravery, the less chance of getting a rare item during a battle, but we'll go more over that when that becomes more relevant. Also, fun fact, if a character on your party's bravery gets low enough, there's a chance they'll actually abandon your group. A unit's faith indicates the strength of his or her belief in the divine. The higher the value, the more profound the unit's faith and understanding of mysterious phenomena beyond normal human knowledge. As such, faith affects both the potency and success rate of magics. So the higher your faith, the more you'll heal with magic and do damage with magic. Also, the more enemy magic attacks will hurt you, so it's kind of an interesting deal. This brings us to the panel in the middle of the screen. A unit's move attribute indicates the number of tiles the unit may traverse in one turn. Also, I think if a character's faith gets too high, they may join the enemy, something like that. And if a character's bravery gets too low, they'll get the chicken status, where they actually turn into a chicken. I believe that's how it works. A unit's move attribute indicates the number of tiles that unit may traverse in one turn. However, some terrain is more difficult to traverse. Crossing one of these tiles requires the effort needed to cross two normal tiles. A unit's jump attribute indicates how high and how far the unit may jump. Dragoon style. Units may jump vertical to a height equal to their jump, and horizontal a number of tiles equal to half their jump. So you gotta do the math with that. Speed indicates a unit's quickness. Fireball! Since the CT gauge fills in increments equal to a unit's speed, the higher a unit's speed, the sooner his or her turn will come. In other words, the higher a unit's speed, the faster it is, and the more often it will receive a chance to act. The values for move, jump, and speed are determined by a variety of factors that have nothing to do with the Japanese mafia. A unit's equipment, abilities, and unique characteristics are all factored into the final value. Das Boot! Das Boot! Weapon power represents a weapon's attack, and block rate. Yeah, because you can actually block with weapons in this game, which is kind of cool. R and L show the effectiveness of weapons, equipped in the right and left hands. The left number displays... not displays, what the beep? I can't read. The left number displays the weapon's attack, while the right number displays its block rate. The higher a weapon's attack, the greater the damage it'll deal. So like some weapons will have higher attack, where others will have less attack but more block rate. So, you know, strategize and such. Weapons may only be used to block when the unit has been assigned the reaction ability parry. I think it was called weapon block or something in the PS1 version. If the parry ability has been assigned, the number here is the chance a unit will block a physical attack with his or her weapon. These sword and rod icons represent physical and magic values, respectively. For attack, C evade, S evade, and A evade, the values for physical attacks are on the top row, and magic attacks on the bottom. Attack is the unit's combined attack rating. These numbers are the unit's base attack and magic, plus any ability bonuses. The top row displays the power of physical attacks, such as weapon attacks, and the bottom row displays that of magic attacks. C evade, S evade, and A evade all indicate the chance of evading attacks. C evade is the unit's or character's inherent chance of evading an attack, so that's just like normal. Your normal evade. S evade is the chance a unit will evade or block an attack with the shield he or she has equipped, so shield evasion. A evasion is the chance an accessory the unit has equipped will help him or her evade an attack, so accessory. As before, the values in the top row are for physical attacks, while the values in the bottom row are for magic attacks. Cool. Now let's turn to the panel at the bottom of the screen. The unit's current equipment appears on the left, with his or her assigned abilities and commands appearing on the right. From the top, the equipment listed here is that for the right hand, left hand, head, and body, with an accessory at the bottom. Pretty typical stuff. The abilities and commands are listed on the right, beginning with the default job command. Below that are the optionally assigned job command, reaction ability, support ability, and movement ability. Sadly, there's no pool expert ability, but maybe someone will add that one day. Now you know all about the information available on the status screen. It is very important that you review your party's capabilities and level of advancement before entering battle. Understanding the meaning of these attributes is the only way to have a firm grasp of each unit's strengths and weaknesses. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Vegasar probably would have quit that lesson. Equipping items. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, we shall discuss the equipment command available on the party menu. Uh-oh, there's already discussions going on. The party's items include an inventory available to all party members, as well as items equipped by specific units. Why do we always have this Danielle dude? What's up with that? When equipping a unit, you may choose from any of the items in the party's inventory. Let us examine the steps involved in equipping a unit. To open the party menu, press triangle while viewing either the party roster or any of the status screens. I don't have a triangle button. I do have a Y button, though. I think this is my very first PSP stream, so that's something. Select the first option, Equipment. The screen changes with the equipment menu on the bottom right, and the unit's current equipment on the bottom left. As with the status screen, you may cycle through units using the L and R buttons. Now let us examine the commands one by one. Equip allows you to select an item from the party's inventory and outfit the currently selected unit with it. Ramza's taking a nap, I think. I am using well, sort of like an Xbox controller, but, you know, not exactly. But it's kind of modeled after one. Equip allows you to select an item from the party's inventory and outfit the currently selected units with it. Let's give it a try. We start by selecting Equip. Next, move the cursor to the spot you wish to equip. For now, we will change the equipment in the right hand. You don't want to take off his... Whoa! How do you have a defender already? What the hell? This is the beginning of the game, sir. A list of items that may be equipped in the right hand appears. I think defender is like one of the best weapons. Items that are grayed out cannot be equipped by the unit's current job. You may find this easier if the list filters out items that the current unit cannot equip. In that case, simply set option 11, display unequipped items, to off in the options menu. I haven't been to the options menu, sir. The equipment list displays all items, including those in the party's inventory and items that are currently equipped. Even if an item is not grayed out, it may not be equipable if other units in the party have already equipped all of that item. The number of each item currently equipped and the total number in the party's inventory appear beside each item. Let's attempt to equip a longsword, but chances are we'll probably fail miserably. How do we have 20 longswords already? Moving the cursor to an equipable item displays the change in attributes that would result from equipping that item. Equipping the longsword will raise weapon attack by 1 and block rate by 5. Equipping the dagger, however, would lower weapon attack by 1. That's a shame. Vegastar would probably use that during the final boss. Remember that the attributes displayed while selecting equipment are not the weapon's actual attack and block rate. Rather, these numbers show the relative strength of the selected weapon against the unit's current equipment. Oh, I love that sound. This game has some really great sound effects. There, we have successfully changed the unit's equipment. Press circle to leave the list of the unit's current equipment and return to the equipment menu. Using the equip command requires that you carefully watch for changes in every attribute, which may be time-consuming. We ain't got time for that crap. To save time, you may select Optimize to automatically equip your unit with the strongest available items in the inventory, which is something most RPGs have, typically. A list of the strongest items that may be equipped by that unit appears, and you will be asked to confirm the changes. John? A panel showing any changes in the unit's attributes also appears, so you may refer to this while making your decision. How do you already have a reflect ring? Although the automatically selected equipment is, for most purposes, the strongest available, you may wish to change certain assignments. In that case, it is preferable to go back and adjust only the individual pieces of equipment you wish to change. Now, if I may draw your attention to what we have just equipped in this unit's hands. Because the longbow is a two-handed weapon, it is equipped in both hands. I notice Knight is now called Soldier, apparently. Let me take this opportunity to go into a little more detail on choosing equipment for a unit's hands. Generally speaking, units will carry a weapon in one hand, and provided they may equip it, a shield in the other. Monk is still monk, apparently. I think someone just farted. Two-handed weapons, such as bows or axes, will automatically be equipped in both hands. After all, a soldier is equipping bows, but okay. But if your unit has double hand assigned as a support ability, certain one-handed weapons can be wielded with two hands. Wielding a one-handed weapon with two hands deals significantly more damage, FF6 style. The dual wield support ability provides another exception to these rules. Dual wield enables a unit to equip a weapon in each hand, ninja style. With the exception of the ninja, units must have dual wield assigned to them in order to equip two weapons at the same time. Looks like chemist is still called chemist. The remove command allows you to unequip an item from a unit. Shoulder cape. Simply select the equipment you wish to remove. Reflectoring, which we don't get for a long time, I don't think. Pressing the left button before confirming your selection will select all of the unit's equipment. Okay. That's kind of cool. The View List command brings up a list of the equipment in the party's inventory, and that presently equipped by party members. From the list you can reorder, discard, unequip all, sort, and search to find what units are using certain equipment. Tom Bodette style.
I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
This is the equipment list. Detailed information about the currently selected equipment appears at the top and bottom right of the screen. Is that so? You may cycle through the different equipment categories by pressing the left and right buttons. The leftmost category contains equipment held in the hands. Next to that is headwear. The center category is for clothing and body armor. Or, body odor. Next comes accessories. And finally, consumable items. Weapons and shields are held in the hands, obviously. Unless you have no telekinesis. Weapons primarily affect weapon attack and block rate, while shields determine shield evasion. Helms and hats are those types of equipment worn upon the head. Yes'm. Equipment worn upon the head primarily provide boost to HP or MP. I believe in this mod, they made most equipment have raise more HP than in the normal game. Something like that. Clothing, armor, and robes are equipped on the body. Equipment worn upon the body generally has effects such as increasing HP or MP as well. Accessories include capes, rings, arm guards, gauntlets, boots, and the like. Boots? Das Boots! Das Boots! You know what I'm talking about? Accessories grant many different effects. Some boost certain attributes, while others protect against status effects. Cool. Consumable items may only be used during battle and disappear once they are used. That's too bad. A unit must learn chemist abilities before he or she may use items. Items restore HP and remove status effects. For example, a Phoenix Down will revive a KO'd unit. Okay. Accepts the optimization shown. Next, let me explain the commands available while viewing the equipment list. You may reorder equipment in the list to be displayed in any way you like. First, move the cursor to the equipment you wish to move, then press X, Hasty Steven style. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Next, move the cursor up or down to the location to which you wish to move the equipment, then press X again. Stand-up adventure style. The two pieces of equipment will exchange places on the list. You just made the list! Now I shall explain how to search for units who are using a certain piece of equipment. First, move the cursor to a piece of equipment that is currently equipped, and then press triangle. This will display any units using the selected piece of equipment, which is pretty cool. If more than one unit is using the same equipment, you may use the L and R buttons to cycle through those units. He likes to say the word unit, doesn't he? I think it makes him excited. Next, let's examine the discard, unequipped all, and sort commands, which are important. Pressing X twice while a piece of equipment is selected will open the equipment list menu. Select discard to throw away any number of the currently selected piece of equipment. Cleric. Why not just call it White Mage? Come on, man. Unequip all will remove the selected piece of equipment from anyone in the party who has it equipped. Is that right? Hasty Steven keeps farting. Sort allows you to set the order in which equipment is displayed by selecting from a list of criteria. Defense staff. Dude, stop doing that. There is little else to say about the equipment list. Oh, precisely. And so our discussion of equipment has reached its end. Equipment is a very important matter, so kindly take what I have to say to heart. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Okay. Job advancement! We need jobs, man! Can't make money without jobs. Let us begin our lesson. In this session, we shall discuss jobs. There is more to battle than merely swinging a sword. There are many different roles to be played on the battlefield. A unit might master the use of special weapons or use magic against many enemies at once. A unit might also use magic or items to assist the other members of the party. Depending upon the role you wish a unit to play, you may assign him or her a different job with varying skills. For example, a chemist is skilled at using recovery items, such as potions. An archer may equip a bow to attack from afar, although chances are Tanner Lee would probably end up using a potion on the enemy, I'm sure. Let's discuss how to change a unit's job. First, you must open the job status screen. The job status screen is accessed by pressing X on a unit's status screen. Cool. Squire! This is the unit's job status. On the job status screen, you may check which jobs are available to that unit, and how advanced the unit is in each particular job. The jobs listed here are all of the jobs currently available to the unit. Also listed is each job's level. Yeah! You can unlock new jobs by raising the levels of the unit's currently available jobs. For example, once a unit has become a level 2 squire, he or she may become a knight. I thought it was called soldier. To reach the next level of a particular job, you must raise the total job points for that job. When the total job points of a particular job reach the number under next, its level will increase. There are two ways of obtaining job points on the battlefield. Firstly, a unit may obtain job points for his or her current job by participating in battle. In addition, units may obtain job points through the actions of their allies. This will give the unit a small number of job points for whatever job the allied unit has. Thus, as a general rule, units may gain job points by simply being on the battlefield or performing actions there. The JP column on the far right displays the remaining job points for each job. The points on the far right are the remaining job points you may spend on new abilities. Each job has its unique set of abilities, including various skills and magics. These may be learned by spending job points. After spending job points, the remaining points are listed under the JP column. I remember on the PS1 version, I had this Game Shark code that would make it so your JP would not go down after learning abilities. So, it made learning all the abilities much quicker. Total job points are all of the job points the unit has ever obtained for that job. A unit's remaining job points are the number of job points that may be used to learn new abilities. This concludes my explanation of a unit's job status. Try using a variety of jobs to build up your unit's abilities. Now let us see how one changes a unit's job. The job command may be found on the party menu. Selecting job to open the job change screen. Cannot change job. What a loser. He has no talent. All of the jobs available to the unit are displayed in a circle around him or her. As with the status screen, you may use the L and R buttons to cycle between your units. You have a Chocobo! Chocobos can't change jobs. Use the left and right buttons to select a job and press X to confirm your selection. The unit's current job will be grayed out. Jobs that other units may select, but are not available to the currently selected unit, are also grayed out. That's too bad. FF6 and FF5. Now you know how to change a unit's job. If you turn off option 12, optimize on job change, a unit's equipment will be removed when it changes jobs. Be sure to remember to re-equip the unit before battle. Don't be a little bastard. That concludes our discussion of jobs. Let us review. Each unit must have a role to play on the battlefield. The unit's job indicates the role for which he or she is best suited. The unique abilities available to each job are learned by using job points, which are obtained by performing actions on the battlefield. You may unlock new jobs for a unit by leveling up the jobs currently available to him or her. Try using a variety of jobs to build up your unit's abilities and make them more useful on the battlefield. Edgar Blue Magic. Aw yeah. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Okay. Learning abilities. In this session, we will be discussing abilities, Hasty Steven style. When a unit takes on a job, he or she can learn the abilities available to that job. As the unit progresses in his or her job, more and more of that job's unique abilities will become available. Allow me to explain the various types of abilities and how they are used. First, let us open the ability status window. We still have that Danielle pool expert. Hate that guy. It may be accessed by selecting a job from the job status window and pressing X. Lawrence is a monk. Even though it only shows Squire, but what the heck? This is the ability status window. Here you will see a list of the abilities offered by a particular job, and whether or not they have already been learned by the unit. These abilities may be learned when enough job points have been obtained for this job. Squire seems to have much different abilities here than normal. Using the left and right buttons to cycle through the various types of abilities. There are 4 types of abilities divided by how they are used. First of all, we have action abilities. Action abilities are executed in battle as actions. They include many different types of skills and magics. The white magics Cure and Raise are examples of this kind of ability. I think they changed Life to Raise. Next are reaction abilities. Counter Tackle. Reaction abilities are triggered when the unit is attacked by an enemy. Take the Chemist Auto Potion ability, for example. This ability enables the unit to automatically use a potion when he or she suffers damage from an enemy attack. Next are support abilities. JP up, EXP up. Support abilities strengthen a unit's basic combat skills. They may allow the unit to equip different types of items, or increase offensive or defensive attributes. For example, equipped shields and arcane defense are both support abilities. Finally, we have movement abilities. Ignore swamps! Movement abilities enhance the unit's mobility in some fashion. They may increase the distance that the unit may move, or add a special effect to his or her movement. Examples of this type of ability are Move +1 and Life Font, which restores HP to the unit whenever it moves. A unit may learn these abilities by using the job points saved up for each job. The number in the lower JP column is the number of job points required to learn that ability. This is the number of job points available for learning this job's abilities. When an ability is learned, its job points are subtracted from this amount. To get more job points, you must take the unit into battle. Additionally, a job's level is determined by the number in the total column. This is the total JP the unit has earned for that job. You will need to look at the rightmost column to see how many job points are actually available to spend. Naturally. Now then, let's try learning a new ability. I don't want to! First, choose abilities from the party menu to access the abilities menu. Martial arts. Now choose the Learn command. Let's learn. I want to learn something. Choose which job you wish to learn an ability from. Next, use the left and right buttons to cycle through the 4 types of abilities. Only the abilities in black may be learned by the unit. The grayed out abilities cannot be learned because the unit does not have enough job points. The unit's too big of a pool expert. Water Anima? The hell? None of these abilities were in the PS1 version. This unit just learned the Antidote ability. It did? That says stall. What are you talking about, old man? I think he's gone blind. The abilities you have learned will have learned displayed next to them in the JP cost column. Next, let's examine how abilities are used in battle. Action abilities may be selected as actions on the battlefield. To do this, first select Act from the battle menu. Action abilities are listed as subcommands after selecting Act. Next, select one of the action abilities within that category. For example, the action abilities for the White Mage job appear under the White Magic's job command. I thought they were Cleric. If a unit is a White Mage, White Magics will always be available. In other words, action abilities that the unit has learned for his or her current job will always be available to the unit. Look at the panel in the bottom left corner of the screen. The first icon represents the job command for the unit's current job. Yep. This command is fixed and cannot be changed. Not even through modding. However, notice that there is another space with the same icon just below that. Here you may place the job command of any job currently available to the unit. Once you have done this, that job's ability will also be usable in battle. I almost always have item as the second job ability. To select a job command to place here, use the Assign command on the Abilities menu. When you select Assign, the cursor will move to the panel on the left-hand side of the screen. Press X to select a different job command. Select from among the choices on the Red Magics. You're not a Red Mage, sir. Do remember that although this is a list of all jobs available to the unit may not have learned some of those jobs' abilities. Take care when making your selection. Indeed. The 3 icons under the job commands will represent other types of abilities. Third from the top is the unit's reaction ability, followed by support ability, and then movement ability. You may assign one of the abilities the unit has learned to each of these slots using the Assign command. Critical Vengeance? The hell is that? Unlike the first job command, these abilities are not automatically assigned when changing a unit's job. You may choose any ability the unit has learned for these slots, regardless of his or her current job. However, some jobs have special innate abilities that need not be assigned. For example, a ninja may use 2 weapons without being assigned the dual wield ability. There is no reason to assign abilities that overlap with a unit's innate ability, so they cannot be assigned by the player. Thus, units are not limited to their current job's abilities. By using the assign command, they may use previously learned abilities too. This allows you to create units with a wide variety of abilities that should prove useful on the battlefield. Nice. This ends my explanation of abilities. Do your best to learn many abilities and to select the ones that will be most useful to you in a particular situation. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Okay. Friendly monsters. Uh-oh. In this session, we shall discuss monsters. The Monster Mash. Monsters can join your party and fight for you in battle. Although monsters are treated much the same as human units, there are significant differences between the two. They've got a chocobo, named Idothea. Firstly, monsters are unable to equip items. I guess they have no pockets. This means they are unable to use items to increase HP or other attributes. They also cannot be assigned abilities. They suck. Thus, monsters have no way of acquiring new skills. However, all monsters have from 1 to 3 special skills, which differ for each type of monster. If a human with the Beastmaster ability stands on a neighboring tile, the monster will be granted 1 additional command. Aside from these, monsters cannot use any other commands. Furthermore, they have no jobs. They're unemployed. A bunch of losers. Since they do not have jobs, they quite rightly cannot use the job command to change jobs. You'd think a chocobo could become a black chocobo or something, but that's not the way it works. Thus, it is not possible to shape one's monster into multi-talented warriors in the same way one can with human units. However, they do have some useful skills right from the start. For example, some may have the counter-reaction ability. And while some monsters cannot enter water, others may be able to fly. Finally, human units may ride chocobos. Riding a chocobo allows a human unit to take advantage of its increased mobility, which I don't find riding a chocobo to be very useful, honestly, but it's something you can do. As you can see, monsters are quite different from human units. If you take the time to train them and take advantage of their unique skills, monsters should prove invaluable companions. Not really a huge fan of using monsters, but it can be kind of interesting. Next, allow me to outline a few points that one must keep in mind when dealing with monster allies. Monsters in your party will occasionally lay eggs. After a certain number of days have passed, the eggs will hatch, revealing new monsters of the same type. These will also join your party. This is an auspicious event, but if allowed to continue unchecked, your party's ranks will soon be filled with nothing but monsters. I've had that happen. In this case, you must not think twice about using the dismiss command, and fire them! Okay. Oh yes, I almost forgot. You will not know precisely what kind of monster will appear from an egg until it hatches. For example, a normal chocobo may sometimes lay an egg that hatches to be a black chocobo. Each species of monsters has any number of different varieties. Your new arrival may be of a kind you have never seen before. Try to raise a variety of different types of monsters. Tell me what to do, punk. This concludes our discussion of monster allies. Indeed it does. Although monsters are quite different from human units, I am sure they will be useful additions to your party. Maybe. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. You better. And finally, quick help. Fire them with fireballs! This session will outline the game's help system, which is very useful, by the way. There is a great deal of information available to you on the party roster. You will no doubt find yourself wishing to know more about a particular attribute or ability from time to time. When you acquire more information, try pressing select. A help message, or the help cursor, will appear. It's like that time Vegastar couldn't figure out how to get the help menu to pop up, so he quit. If you press select while viewing a unit's detailed status, a cursor will appear. Use it to select an item and press X. It's kind of a cool thing, really. A help message like the one just shown will appear. Help messages are also useful when learning new abilities. Because then you can see what they actually do. Imagine that. You may check the effects of a particular ability before your unit learns it. Very useful. Especially since this version's is gonna probably have a lot of new abilities that I have no idea what they do. So yeah. You may even display help messages for menu commands. Whenever you are unsure of what something means, just remember to press select. He tried to get a guide for Luigi's adventure, but he couldn't find one. That's why he quit. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. That's a short one. Okay, finally done with that. We move on to battle. Battlefield controls. Oh! It's like a tutorial battlefield. Now then, let us begin our lesson. In this session, we shall delve into how to control your units on the battlefield. Since the battlefield is a three-dimensional environment, you may view it from a variety of angles. A variety of curved angles. Use the L and R buttons and the analog stick to adjust your view of the battlefield. The analog stick rotates your view of the battlefield. Yeah. The L button zooms the camera in and out, and the R button toggles the camera height. Oh. How cool is that? Try using these controls now. Press start when you are finished. Don't tell me what to do. Woo! I'm controlling stuff. Isn't that awesome? I actually like the way they have that set up. I think it's more convenient than it was in the PS1 version. You may also scroll across the screen by holding down square and using the directional buttons. Try it now and press start when finished. Yeah, so you can hold down square and move around to see the map. Carlton Sheets style, it's pretty sweet.
Hello, I'm Carlton Sheets. I began my real estate investing career more than 30 years ago with the belief that I could create wealth and achieve success in real estate.
You will need to master these controls if you want to be aware of what is occurring on the battlefield. Next, we will cover the battlefield cursor. Uh-oh. It's a little dagger. The battlefield cursor is used to select units or tiles on the battlefield. The cursor's height is displayed in the upper right corner of the screen, which is important, by the way. And the selected unit status is displayed at the bottom. Steward? I never recruited some dude named Steward. Press circle to close the menu and then use the directional buttons to move the battlefield cursor. Press start when you are finished. The cursor is used to select a unit's movement destination or attack target. Battlefields are often made up of complex terrain, and some locations may be inaccessible. The cursor is normally blue, but it will turn red when moved over a tile inaccessible to the unit. You now know the basics of controlling the battlefield cursor. Let us move on to something a bit more advanced. Uh-oh. I may not understand this. Sometimes you will encounter tiles that are above other ones. For example, you may be able to move over or under a bridge. Pretty much. Allow me to explain how to use the cursor in a case like this. First, move the cursor to either the upper or lower tile. Then wait after moving the cursor. Do I look like a waiter? It will automatically begin to toggle between the upper and lower tiles. Yeah, that's kind of how that works. Simply making your selection when the cursor is on the correct tile. Try it now. Press start when you are finished. Don't tell me. He keeps trying to tell me what to do. I don't like it. Pisses me off. You may adjust the speed of the cursor when switching between levels by using option 3, multi-height toggle rate. If this option is turned off, the cursor will not move automatically. Instead, you must press start to toggle between different levels. There are also 2 other special ways of moving the cursor, related to the unit's turn order. To move the cursor automatically to the active unit, move the cursor to an empty tile and press X. Repeatedly pressing start will cycle the cursor from unit to unit in turn order, which is kind of cool. This is useful for determining the order in which units will act. However, you cannot use this method if you are using start to switch between multiple levels. Now allow me to explain the commands you may use when selecting a unit with the cursor. If you move the cursor to one of your units and press X, the unit's battle menu will appear. Would you get Stewart out of here? He freaking sucks. Freaking level 1. In addition, if you press circle when a unit is selected by the cursor, the unit's range of movement will be displayed. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at that. This concludes our discussion of the battlefield cursor. Using the cursor is one of the fundamentals of battle, so please do your best to remember what you have learned here. I'll probably forget it in a few minutes. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Coolio. Battle overview.
Sloppy.
There's a chocobo. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this lesson, we shall explore the fundamentals of battle from beginning to end. Firstly, you must select the units you wish to use in battle and position them on the field. The number of units you may use in battle varies depending on the situation. But in general, you are limited to 5. Not very many, you know. In some cases, you may need to split your units into 2 separate squads. If you always use the same units in battle, their advancement will soon outpace that of your other units. I like how there's water here all of a sudden. When selecting units to use in battle, keep in mind both their skills and their need for advancement. Sometimes allied units will appear in battle without your having selected them. These are known as guest units. Oh, guest units. Guest units have their own agendas and will move and act on their own. They go into business for themselves. Once you have selected your units, you will move to the battlefield. And then battle will begin, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. First, we must discuss objectives. For example, this. Objective, defeat all enemies. Or, objective, protect the chocobo. I don't want to do that. That objective sucks. Messages such as these will appear as each battle begins, telling you what you must do in order to... Why does everyone always tell me what to do? I hate that. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Damn. In general, you must defeat all of the enemies, but in some cases, you must fulfill other special conditions. Once the battle has begun, each of your units will move and act in turn. When it is a unit's turn to move and act, he or she will be designated by the AT icon, which stands for Active Turn, if you didn't know. A unit's turn comes when his or her charge time gauge reaches 100. A unit's speed attribute determines how much his or her CT gauge fills with each tick of the game clock. During a unit's turn, he or she may move and perform actions, such as attacking an enemy. Let's examine the battle menu, shall we? Jellian? Is that some weird version of Jillian? Jellian. What the hell? The move, act, and wait commands are displayed only when it is the unit's turn. A unit may move once and act once during his or her turn. If the unit has both moved and performed an action, his or her turn will automatically come to an end. You don't have to freeze everything. We can't all be proctologists, you know. wait command is used to end the turn if the unit will only be moving or acting, or if he or she will do nothing. Next, let's examine the other commands. Status allows you to check a unit's detailed status. We know. Jellian. The AI command allows you to set an AI pattern for the unit so that it will decide its own actions. Units that use AI will move and fight automatically until the AI command is cancelled. Artificial intelligence and such. Manual, Berserker, Defender, Healer, and Coward. I think Hasty Steven would be under Coward. You may select from 4 different AI strategies. Berserker will cause the unit to attack its target without regard for his or her own safety. Defender will cause the unit to protect a friendly target without regard for his or her own safety. Healer will cause the unit to focus upon restoring the HP and MP of allied units. Coward will cause the unit to attempt to escape to a safe location while recovering his or her own HP. What a coward. For Berserker and Defender, you must select a target for the unit to attack or protect. Once the unit's AI has been enabled, that unit will fight automatically from then on. I pretty much never use that. To cancel this setting, select the AI command and choose Manual. However, since the unit will be acting automatically, you cannot access the unit's menu on his or her own turn. You must cancel the setting during another unit's turn or after pausing the battle. Pretty much. The status and AI commands may be selected even if it is not the selected unit's turn. Normally the menu will not appear for an enemy unit or a unit which has been set to use AI. However, you may halt the course of battle and force a menu to appear by pressing triangle. Doing so will open a menu on the next unit's turn. This allows you to stop units using AI or to view the status of enemy units. You will not be able to give commands to any of your units while the battle is stopping in this way. You're just not allowed. It's illegal in like 22 states. To resume the battle, assuming the current unit is not set to AI, select Done. You're done! This command may be found at the bottom of the menu. This concludes my overview of battle commands. To summarize, you may select Move, Act, or Wait during a unit's turn, as well as check the unit's status. In some cases, you may wish to set an AI pattern for a unit. To resume the battle after it has been interrupted, select Done! These are the main commands that you will use in the course of a battle. Coolio. Next is the most unpleasant subject. Uh-oh. Are we going to talk about farts? When a unit's HP reaches 0, the unit will be KO'd. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's something Vegastar experiences a lot, I'm pretty sure. What is Jellian gonna do? Okay, that made no sense. Why did you attack nothing? If you do not revive a KO'd unit within a certain amount of time, the unit's body will disappear. In its place, a treasure chest or crystal will appear. I don't know what you're doing, but okay. Once a unit has disappeared in this way, there is no way of reviving it. The unit is gone forever. Permadeath and such. If one of your units is KO'd, do your best to revive him or her as quickly as possible. If all of your units are KO'd, you get a game over screen. Aw yeah. Always keep an eye upon your unit's remaining HP to prevent this from happening. I recommend that you always bring at least one unit who is capable of healing or reviving KO'd units. On the other hand, KOing all enemy units on the battlefield will end the battle, assuming you have fulfilled the battle objective. Nice. This concludes our battle overview and my explanation of the battle menu. I trust you will make good use of this information on the battlefield. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Oh yeah, Hasty Steven time. Movements and actions. There's a chocobo. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, I shall explain movement and actions. You better do a good job of explaining it, sir, or I'm gonna be pissed. A unit is allowed one move and one action during his or her turn. Let's try controlling a unit as he moves and acts. First, you must move your unit to a tile next to an enemy you wish to attack. Try selecting move. I don't want to. Why do I have to do it? This is a tutorial. Come on, man. You're supposed to show me how to do it, punk. As you can see, the tiles around your unit are flashing blue. These blue tiles indicate the movement range of your unit. You must select a destination from among these tiles. But first, allow me to explain how a unit's movement range is determined. Each unit's range of movement is determined by his or her move and jump attributes. On flat terrain, a unit may move a number of tiles in one turn equal to the unit's move attribute. So if a unit's move is 4, he or she may move 4 tiles. Likewise, the unit may perform a vertical jump to a height equaling his or her jump attribute. He or she may also jump horizontally for a distance equaling half his or her jump attribute. So a unit with a jump of 3 could jump horizontally over a 1-tile gap, or jump up or down 3 levels. In this case, levels refer to the difference between the height of the unit's current tile and that of the target tile. Now then, let us continue practicing movement. Once the unit's movement range is displayed, select a destination. If there is an allied chocobo on the tile, you select your unit will mount that chocobo. Yeah. Right in the chocobo. Aw, yeah. Now try approaching the enemy by selecting the tile directly in front of him. Yay! Since a unit may only move once per turn, the move command is now grayed out and cannot be selected. Now try attacking with a weapon. To do this, you must select the attack command. Try it now. Select act and then attack. Fine. The tiles around your unit have turned red, 'cause they're embarrassed. This indicates the unit's attack range. He may attack any unit on a red tile. Allow me to explain a bit about attack range. A unit's attack range is determined by the weapon a unit has equipped, as well as his or her abilities. Refried beans in Walmart. Bullshit. Bullshit. For example, a sword has a range of only 1 tile, but a bow allows the unit to extend his or her attack to tiles that are quite far away. Magics generally have a long range as well. Now try selecting your target, move the cursor to your enemy, and press X. I can do that. Notice that the enemy's unit tile has turned green, probably because it's covered in boogers. Green tiles indicate the attack's area of effect. The area of effect depends upon the weapon a unit has equipped, as well as his or her abilities. Most weapons have an area of effect of just 1 tile, but magics may affect many tiles at once. The status of each unit is displayed at the bottom of the screen. On the left is the attacking unit, and on the right is his or her target. The attacking unit's turn order, level, and experience are shown here. In place of them, you will see an estimate of the attack's effect. The HP value listed here is the estimated amount of damage. To the right is the probability that the attack will succeed. By checking these, you can get a good idea of how effective an attack will be against a particular enemy. For standard attacks, only the damage estimate and chance of successes are displayed. For magics that cause status effects, the status effect's name and its chance of being inflicted will also be displayed. If the targeted unit has a reaction ability, the name of that ability will appear beneath the unit's status display. In battle, it is important to check all of these when choosing a target. You should also note that a unit's bravery, faith, and Zodiac sign all affect the damage and success rate of attacks. Despite what Newfie tells you, a unit's bravery also affects its bare-handed attack attribute, and the chance that its reaction ability will be triggered. Faith affects the damage and success rate of a unit's magic attacks. For example, a unit with high faith inflicts more damage when casting Firaga, and is more likely to successfully cast Raise. The relationship between the Zodiac signs of the attacker and defender also affects damage and success rate. If the two signs are compatible, attacks will do more damage, and healing magics will be more effective. If the two signs are incompatible, damage will be reduced, as will the success rate of magics. The estimated result of an attack takes into account faith, bravery, and Zodiac sign compatibility. Now then, let us continue by selecting the target. Once you have checked the area of effect and estimated results, you may confirm your target. Press X to confirm the selection. Quiet you. 20 damage! If an attack is successful, the attacker will gain experience points and job points. I don't think Vegastar has ever made a successful attack, unfortunately. After a unit has both moved and acted, his or her turn will automatically end. When a unit's turn ends, you must choose his or her facing. This affects the probability of the unit evading enemy attacks. You will want to be facing the enemy whenever possible, though. Pretty much. Wimond? You mean Wimond from FF14? That concludes my explanation of movements and actions. You shall be repeating these steps many times as you battle your foes. This is one of the fundamentals of battle, so please do your best to remember what you have learned here. Don't make me hit you with my ruler. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Alrighty then. The CT gauge and such. A ninja named Round Elf. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, we will discuss the CT gauge and how it relates to the order in which units take their turns. All units, be they enemy or ally, move and act in a certain order. The order in which units take their turns is determined by their charge time. Once a unit's CT gauge fills up, that unit's turn has arrived. You may check a unit's charge time by looking at his or her CT gauge. The CT gauge is located below the unit's HP and MP. Level 20? How'd you get level 20 already? This gauge, located at the bottom of a unit's status display in the lower left corner of the screen, represents his or her charge time. Once this gauge reaches 100, it is fully charged, and it becomes the unit's turn to move and act. The CT gauges of all units filled with each tick of the game clock, but the rate at which they fill in is different for each unit. Because of this, some unit will see their turns come more quickly than others. Allow me to explain a bit more about how the CT gauge fills. Round Elf the Ninja. Here is the unit status screen. Look at the left side of the middle panel. You will see an attribute labeled Speed. It's 8! Every time the CT gauge is incremented, the value increases by an amount equal to the unit's speed. This means a unit with a high speed will see their CT gauges fill more quickly, obviously. Allow me to give an example. This unit has a speed of 9. Dude, it just said 8! This guy is blind, I'm telling ya! This unit has a speed of 6. Let us observe how their CT gauges fill. Do-do-do-do-do. The ninja wins the race and such. As you can see, the unit with a speed of 9 sees his turn come earlier. Of course, in an actual battle, you do not have to wait while the CT gauge fills up. The active turn will automatically advance to whichever unit has the next turn, stand-up adventure style. Now you know how the CT gauge works. A unit's speed is added to the gauge for each tick of the game clock, until the gauge reaches 100. Then it is the unit's turn. Thus, the higher a unit's speed, the more often he or she will receive a turn. Even understanding how the CT gauge controls turn order, it is difficult to keep track of the turn order for all units. Actually, it's not. So I shall teach you a simple method of checking the turn order in battle. If you have to. Look at the status display at the bottom of the... Look at this photo! I mean, what? There are two numbers to the upper right of the unit's portrait. The number to the left of the slash indicates that unit's turn order. The number to the right is the total number of units on the battlefield. Thus, to see an estimate of when a unit will get his or her turn, you merely have to move the cursor to the unit's tile and check this number. I say estimate because in some cases the CT gauge will be filled in an irregular fashion. Not an irregular fashion, uh-oh. That's the true villain. In particular, I'm referring to what happens when a unit chooses the wait command. A unit can use the wait command when he or she only wants to move or act, or does not wish to do anything because he sucks. Normally, when a unit's turn ends, the CT gauge resets to 0. But when a unit ends his or her turn by selecting wait, the gauge will start its next count from 20, or even 40. When a unit selects the command after moving or acting, the gauge will be reset to 20. So you can get faster turns if you just do wait. When a unit chooses to wait without moving or acting at all, the gauge will be reset to 40. Cool. In other words, the time until the unit's next turn will be shortened. This may sometimes change the turn order of the units on the battlefield. If you plan carefully, you can use the wait command to your advantage. I think Vegastar tried to do that once, but it ended up confusing him, so he quit. This concludes my explanation of the CT gauge and turn order. Let us review. A unit's turn comes when his or her CT gauge reaches 100. With every tick of the game clock, a unit's CT gauge increases by an amount equal to the unit's speed attribute. Thus, the higher a unit's speed, the more often he or she will receive a turn. Understanding these concepts should allow you to gain the upper hand in any battle. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. I shall bid you adieu and such. Magic! Aw yeah! Hasty Steven time. It's a wizard versus a monk. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this lesson, we shall discuss how to use magics. As with units, each magic has a charge time, which starts when a unit begins to cast it, and ends when the magic goes into effect. Each magic also has a speed attribute that affects how quickly it charges. The charge time for magics begins when a unit starts to cast them. If the unit's next turn arrives before the casting is complete, the unit cannot perform another action without canceling the magic. Which is usually only for big-time spells that take a long time. If the unit chooses the wait command, it will continue casting. The unit may also move without interrupting the casting, which is kind of cool, actually. Good way to strategize. Perhaps the easiest way to learn about magic is to actually use it. Well, no shit. First, select Act from the unit's menu. Alistair the Wizard. Black Magics. Now select Black Magics. I guess I could do that. Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Water, Fire, Blizzera. I don't think there was normally water spells. The black magics available to this unit are displayed. I think water may be new, I'm not sure though. Magics that are marked with the icon may be reflected with the reflect ability. The MP cost of casting the magic is shown in the column labeled MP. The turn column indicates when the magic will actually go into effect. All magics require time to cast. That's not entirely true, but, you know. The turn value tells you when the unit will finish casting the magic in the current turn order. It is calculated based on the casting unit's turn order and the amount of time it takes to cast the magic. You can press the left or right button to see more detailed information. Move the cursor to the spell whose timing you wish to check and press the left or right button now. So you can kind of see when it'll be casted. Very important. Because you don't want to cast a spell on someone that's going to move out of the way. So, the turn list is displayed. The flashing row with the casting unit's name and the magic's name indicates when the magic will be cast. The list may also be viewed at any time by pressing triangle and selecting turn list. Now press circle to return to the spell selection menu. Again, telling me what to do. For now, try casting the first spell on the list. But I want to cast Blizzard! But you're forcing me to cast Fire. It's not fair. That is not fair, man. I don't appreciate that. Screw Fire. Hate that spell. The red tiles around the unit indicate the magic's range. You may select any of these tiles as the target. The targeted unit or units will be damaged by offensive magics or aided by support magics. Select the enemy unit's tile as your target. Fine. Whoo! The green tiles around the target indicate where the boogers will land, and the magic's area of effect. Any units within the area of effect will be affected. Since you're casting an offensive magic, units in the area of effect will be damaged. Note that allied units and enemy units will flash in different colors to help you distinguish friend from foe. Note that both allies and enemies can be damaged by your magic, so there is friendly fire. Something that happens quite often. Therefore, you should always ensure that there are no blue flashing units in the area of effect. You may turn off the flashing color effect with option 10, target colors. I tried to go to target one time, but I missed. Press X again to confirm your target. Next, choose whether you wish to target the unit or the tile beneath them. If you select unit, that unit will remain the magic's target, even if he or she moves while it is being casted. If you select tile, and the unit moves when the magic is being cast, the magic will be cast upon the empty tile. Choosing unit ensures that a magic will affect the targeted unit. But if the unit moves, the magic may then affect your own units as well. This time, let's select the unit as our target. How many times has he said unit today? Oh my god. Telling ya. Ridiculous. Mansell the Monk. What kind of name is Mansell? Come on, dude. Fire! Oh. That sounded kind of different, but kind of cool. Only one magic may be cast at a time. Starting another action before the initial magic has been cast will cancel it. This concludes my explanation of magics. Let us review. Like units, magics have a charge time requirement and a speed attribute. Don't believe Ondor's lies! Hey, Buckethead! Keep in mind the amount of time required to cast magics when choosing one. When casting a magic, you must select a target within its range. The magic will affect all tiles in its area of effect. You may choose to cast a magic on either a unit or a tile. If you cast a magic on a unit, the magic's area of effect will move along with the targeted unit. If you cast a magic on a tile, and there are no units within the area of effect when the magic is finally cast, the magic will be wasted. If you cast magic on Vegastar, he'll most likely quit. Keep these points in mind to make the most of your unit's magics. I'm Captain Bosch van Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Okay. Status effects. Gotta have status effects, you know. By law. Celeste the Squire, apparently. We got oracles! Or whatever they're called in this version. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, we shall discuss status effects. That Squire's floating! Status effects are indicated by a variety of cues, such as the color of a unit or a balloon above the unit's head. Somebody has float on. Float! You may see all status effects currently affecting a unit by looking at his or her status screen. A status effect refers to a variety of conditions that may affect a unit on the battlefield. If there was a quit status effect, Vegastar would have auto quit. In general, these may be divided into 4 groups: beneficial statuses, status ailments, physical states, and action states. Firstly, let us discuss the various action states a unit may be in as a result of using abilities. Let us do such a thing. Bardolph the Wizard. We're off to see the Wizard, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Do. Here's Hasty Stevens' piece of shit computer. Oh yeah. There are 3 different action states: charging, performing, and defending. These states are generally cancelled once the unit's next turn arrives, or when an ability goes into effect. Pretty much. Fire! I like the way that sounds. Better than in the PS1 version. Averil the Cleric. The magic has been cast, so the Black Mage's charging state has now been cancelled. Dude, it's Wizard! You pull expert? Next, I shall explain beneficial statuses. A beneficial status is a positive effect that is brought about by an ability or spell. These may gradually restore the unit's HP or increase the unit's speed attribute. White magics. Rush? Poison? What? The hell? The freaking... What? I think I just farted a little bit too. Damn. I think in the tutorial he's trying to cast something that was changed, so it's not working. Oh my god. So can we not progress? I don't think we can progress in the tutorial. That's funny. Because of the mod. That's hilarious. That's funny. We broke the tutorial because of the mod. So we'll just reset. That's hilarious. Because I guess they didn't change the tutorial for the mod. So we'll just kind of skip that one, I suppose. Quick help. We failed the status effects tutorial. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, we shall discuss the game's help system. Don't need it. During battle, you may wish to know the meaning of a command, the effects of an ability, or the range of a weapon. Just select the command ability or item with the cursor and press select. Gilda the Cleric. Because they didn't change like the tutorial behavior for the mod, so some of the abilities were changed, so it kind of screws that over. And then the tutorial doesn't know what to do, so it quits like Vegastar. A help message like the previous one will appear. There are help messages for a wide variety of features in the game. So if you require additional help on a subject, first try pressing select. Let us try researching the effects of a spell. Rush, poison. How are these like white mage spells? What the heck? If you press select before using an ability, you may check its effects or range. Let's examine some of the abbreviations used in the help messages. Range is the attack range. Radius is the radius of the area of effect. MP is the number of MP consumed. These sound like archer abilities, not cleric abilities. Speed is the ability's speed attribute. Means that the magic may be reflected by the reflect ability. Arithmetics indicates a spell that may be used with arithmetics. Removes indicates status effects that the ability removes. Effect is the inflicted status effect. Also, the range or radius of an ability may be limited vertically. This is indicated by vert, followed by a number. This value represents the vertical reach. Yeah, there is actually a class that attacks using math. It's pretty interesting. Try using the help system to view information about the unit's spells. Press start when you are finished. Okay, I'm finished. The help system is especially useful for checking the details of abilities or status effects during battle. Just remember that should you find anything you do not understand, you can select it with the cursor and press select for help. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. Alright. Of course, if I remember, that job is pretty hard to unlock, because you gotta master a lot of other jobs first. Options. Options! Data! It has, like, spells and attacks, and, you use different mathematical concepts to determine who gets targeted, like numbers and, like, multiplication and such. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's pretty nifty. Now then, let us begin the lesson. In this session, I shall explain how to change the game options and what each option means. You may use the option menu to change a variety of in-game settings. The options menu may be accessed both from the world map and from the battlefield. On the battlefield, press triangle in free cursor mode to open the menu. First, press circle to close the battle menu and enter free cursor mode. Okay. You are now in free cursor mode. In this mode, you may freely move the cursor using the directional buttons. Now press triangle to open the menu and select options. I guess I could do that. Options. This is the options menu. Let us examine each option. Cursor movement lets you change how the cursor moves on the battlefield. Type A or Type B. With Type A, pressing the up button moves the cursor towards the upper right. With Type B, pressing the up button moves the cursor towards the upper left, so not that big of a difference. Cursor repeat rate controls how quickly the cursor moves across the battlefield. Fast, normal, or slow. Multi-height toggle rate controls how quickly the cursor moves between two levels, such as tiles on and below a bridge. Fast, normal, slow, or off. Selecting off will prevent the cursor from moving automatically. Instead, you must press start to switch levels. I usually just keep that at normal. Menu cursor speed controls the speed of the finger cursor when moving through menus. Yeah, pretty much. Message speed allows you to adjust the display speed of dialogue in system messages. Battle prompts allows you to toggle the display of messages during battle that explain the game controls. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory. Display ability names controls whether ability and magic names are displayed when they are used. I don't know why you'd turn that off, but maybe some people do. Display effect messages controls whether the effective actions are displayed. I don't know why you would want to turn that off. That would suck. Display earned experience JP controls whether experience and job points obtained by units are displayed on screen during battle. Another thing I don't know why you'd want to turn off, but... Target colors controls whether enemies and allies are highlighted in different colors when selecting a target. This makes it easier to distinguish between allies and enemies. You know, unless you're colorblind. Then it's not going to do a damn thing. Display unequippable item effects, which items are displayed when equipping a unit. If this is set to off, items that cannot be equipped by a certain unit will not be included in the item list for that unit. Usually don't bother with that. Optimize on job change affects the items equipped on a unit when changing his or her job or assigning new abilities. When this option is turned on, the strongest equipment will be automatically selected for a unit when his or her job or abilities change. You probably want to keep that on since most jobs use different equipment, so that's a thing. Sound controls whether sound effects and music should be played in mono, stereo, or surround modes. I don't know if the PS1 version had surround mode. I don't know. I don't remember. Restore default settings allows you to restore all options to their default values by selecting defaults. Pretty much. This concludes my explanation of the game options. Try to find the settings you like best to make your gaming experience as comfortable as possible. With that, I shall bring this lesson to a close. This last one there, wireless play. This definitely was not in the PS1 version. The hell? Melee? What the hell is Melee? Participating in Melee. If you wish to challenge another player to battle via ad hoc mode, select Melee at a tavern. One player should select Host Melee Battle, while the other player selects Join Melee Battle. Once a connection is made, the hosting player will then be prompted to set the rules of engagement and start the battle. A melee battle ends once all of one-player units have been KO'd, or the maximum number of actions have been performed, Hasty Steven style. If the battle ends due to the action limit being reached, then the player with the most units remaining is the winner. Items are then awarded based on the battle results, concluding the melee battle session. Pretty sure we can't do these, but, you know, kind of interesting to see what they do. Melee rules. Melee rules must be set before the battle begins. Map selection determines whether the map is selected by the hosting player or at random. Time limit determines how much total time is allotted to each player to spend deciding units' actions. Action limit determines the total number of actions that each side may perform in battle. Special controls determines whether special time-sensitive controls will be used in the battle. Trap placement determines whether traps are set manually or at random. Number of traps determines the number of traps that may be set in a single battle. Arithmetics determines whether the Arithmetics ability may be used during battle. Determining the winner. The battle ends once all units belonging to either player are KO'd. If the action limit is reached before this occurs, the player with the most remaining units at the end of the battle is the winner. The winner, chicken dinner and such. If both players have the same number of units left, the battle ends in a draw. After the battle, 3 items are awarded to the winner, and 1 is awarded to the loser. In the case of a draw, 2 items are awarded to each player. After the battle. Units KO'd in Melee are not permanently lost. They will disappear from the battlefield when their KO countdowns expire, but rejoin the party after battle. All equipment and items which are consumed or destroyed during battle will likewise be restored to their previous states once the battle is ended. The only unit attribute that changes permanently as a result of multiplayer battles is JP. Aside from JP and subsequent job level increases, all attributes return to their original values at the end of the battle. Special controls. The following controls will be used in melee battles if the special controls option is turned on. Whoa! After selecting attack, pressing X just before the unit's weapon strikes will knock the enemy back 1 tile. If the hit probability for an attack is near 50%, both players will be prompted to press X repeatedly once the attack is confirmed. The outcome will depend on which player presses the button a greater number of times. That's interesting. If a unit enters a tile containing a trap, a sequence of buttons will be displayed. Pressing the correct buttons in the correct order within the time limit will disarm the trap. Traps. Setting the trap placement method to either random or manual enables the placement of traps on the melee map. If a unit moves into a tile trapped by the opposing player, the unit will be affected in one of several ways, depending on the type of trap. Traps you place cannot be triggered by your own units. However, your units will be affected if they are within the area of effect of a trap sprung by one of your opponent's units. Triggering a trap results in the following effects. Sten Needle Trap, HP loss. Hypnogus Trap, Sleep. Death Trap, Doom, Mine, HP loss, Oil. Moss Fungus Trap, Poison. Cursed Stone, Undead. Traps cannot be set on the following type of tiles. Tiles to which no unit may move. Tiles that units can occupy at the start of battle. Water tiles with a depth greater than 1. Cudio. What's Rendezvous? Participating in missions. Rendezvousing with another player allows you to team up in order to complete cooperative missions, not missions. What the hell's missions? Missions via ad hoc mode. Select Rendezvous from the menu in any tavern to access them. After selecting Start a Mission from the Rendezvous submenu, you will be given the option of hosting a mission or joining one hosted by another player. One player should select Host Mission, while the other selects Join Mission. If you're Vegastar, you're probably going to want to select Quit Mission. Once a connection is made, the hosting player will be prompted to select a mission. All missions for which either player has fulfilled the necessary requirements will be able to choose from. Once a decision has been made by the host and confirmed by the other player, both will then proceed to the squad formation screen, not the game over screen. Cooperative battles are much the same as single-player battles, but the number of units allowed in battle will differ according to the mission. There are also several special rules that apply to cooperative battles. As in Melee, KO'd units are not permanently removed from your party, and units gain no experience in battle. Additionally, the use of arithmetics is prohibited. That's too bad. All those math fans get screwed over. Fulfilling the objectives displayed at the start of battle completes the mission. The participants will then be evaluated on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. What is Dave Meltzer involved? And awarded items according to the results. You can repeat a particular mission any number of times, allowing you to keep trying until you earn the best evaluation. Types of missions. Only one mission will be available at first, but new ones will be unlocked as you advance through the game and fulfill certain requirements. The current available missions and their descriptions may be viewed at any tavern by selecting Rendezvous, then view available missions. The hosting player is always responsible for selecting the mission. However, all missions unlocked by either player will appear in the list for the hosting player to choose from. That's kind of cool, I guess. Cooperative battle rules. Only a small number of units are permitted in your squad for cooperative mission battles. Most missions allow a maximum of 3 units per player, and some only allow 2 units each. Some missions require that multiple battles be fought in succession. Abilities are restricted in the following ways. Arithmetics cannot be used. No gil can be acquired. Poaching is not possible. That's a shame. The arithmetics ability cannot be used at all, and abilities that allow a unit to acquire gil have no effect, like Steal Gil. When the Poach ability is assigned to a unit, it may result in monsters being successfully poached during battle, but nothing will become available at Poachers Dens as a result. Keep these rules in mind when assigning abilities to your units. God, how many times have you said unit today? My God, man. After the battle. Only 2 unit attributes will change permanently as a result of mission battles, JP, and abilities learned from crystals on the battlefield. All other attributes will be reset to their original values at the battle's end. Poached monsters and units transformed by Marlboro spores will be restored to their former states. Cool. Fallen characters. Units KO'd in cooperative battle are not permanently lost. They will disappear from the battlefield when their KO countdowns expire, but rejoin the battle after the mission has been completed. When completing missions that consist of multiple battles in a row, units defeated in one battle will not be able to participate in any subsequent battles, greatly hindering your ability to fight. Items! Once a mission is completed, all lost items will be restored, and any items obtained during battle will be added to the party's inventory. That's kinda nice. Restored items include consumables that were used with the items or auto potion abilities, stolen equipment, equipment destroyed by enemy attacks, swords shattered when using Iodo, and weapons thrown with the throw ability. Although items are restored after completing a mission, keep in mind that losing them will make it more difficult to complete the mission in the first place. It would still be wise to assign the safeguard or re-equip abilities to units to ensure that they are not deprived of equipment. Items which may be acquired in battle include those taken from chests, weapons caught with the Sticky Fingers ability, and equipment stolen from enemies. You cannot take items from the other player's units. It's not allowed, not even in Nebraska. After successfully completing the mission, a number of rewards will be awarded to each player as well. Gil! Although you are unable to acquire Gil during mission battles, a Gil bonus is awarded for completing the battle, just as it is for completing a normal battle. Rewards. Items are awarded to each player upon completion of a mission. The value of these rewards depends on luck. The items are kept hidden in chests, making it impossible to know what item will be obtained until a chest is chosen. The number of chests each player may open depends on the evaluations they receive. I bet Vegastar got a horrible evaluation, so he ended up quitting. Mission results are evaluated on a scale of 1 to 5. So Vegastar got a 1. And a better evaluation results in more items being awarded. The maximum number of items awarded is 5. To receive a higher evaluation, you must defeat more enemies or complete the mission with a smaller number of units. If your units are KO'd, your evaluation will go down. The Tavern Master will inform you of your evaluation once the mission is over. After you have cleared a particular task at least once, you may check your evaluation at any time by selecting Rendezvous, and then View Available Missions. The number of stars displayed to the right of the title indicates your best evaluation for that particular mission. Coolio. Miscellany. Oh boy. That is a lot of stuff. The Evasion calendar. 12 constellations illuminate the evening sky, moving along the same elliptical path, traveling by the sun and the moon. These constellations correspond to the 12 signs of the Zodiac, each of which takes a turn dominating the nights of Ivalice for 1 month each year. These months, named for their respective Zodiac signs, correspond to those of the solar calendar as follows. Evalesian calendars: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. For those respective days: Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay. Zodiac sign compatibility. It is the destiny of all creatures to be born under a particular sign of the Zodiac. The interactions of man and monster alike are governed by the compatibilities of these signs. When the 12 are arranged in a circle, and straight lines drawn to form squares between them, signs at the corners of a given square corners are of a poor compatibility. Here are examples of signs with poor compatibility. Oh boy. When lines of equal length are drawn to form a triangle, signs at the triangle's point are of good compatibility. Here are examples of signs with good compatibility. Nice. Gender also plays a significant role in determining compatibility. Units with opposite signs and the same gender have the poorest possible compatibility. Units with opposite signs and opposite genders, however, hold on. Anyway, where were we? Gender also plays a significant role in determining compatibility. Units with opposite signs and the same gender have the poorest possible compatibility. Units with opposite signs and opposite genders, however, have excellent compatibility. Monsters are considered to be of opposite gender to both female and male humans, but the same gender as other monsters. That's exciting. Yep, current stream. Here's an illustration of compatible extremes. Extremes! Compatibility affects both the amount of damage dealt to enemies and the success rate of magics. For example, if a unit attacks an enemy of good compatibility with a weapon, it will deal 1/4 more damage than it normally would. Excellent compatibility would increase the amount of damage by 1/2. On the other hand, damage dealt to enemies with poor compatibility is reduced by 1/4, and of extreme poor compatibility at 1/2. We got some math going on. Compatibility list. So that just kind of shows the compatibility list there, nothing really important. Monsters are considered opposite in gender to both male and female human units, but the same gender as other monsters. Charge time. Charge time determines the order of units' turns in battle. When a unit CT reaches 100, that unit receives a turn to move and act. A unit CT is increased by an amount equal to its speed with each tick of the game clock, so units with higher speed will receive turns more frequently. Yeah, okay, I think we pretty much got most of these down. Arithmetics. Arithmeticians can cast magics targeting all units whose attributes fit a particular arithmetic expression. The following rules apply to the arithmetics ability. To use arithmetics, a unit must know the abilities for at least one base attribute, CT, level, experience, or height, and one algorithm, multiple of 5, multiple of 4, multiple of 3, or prime. Targets are determined by the selected attribute and algorithm. Arithmetics may be used to cast white, black, and time magics, and may also be used with the mystic arts. Magics cast with arithmetics require no charge time, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little advantage there. Magics cast with arithmetics consume no MP, also nice. Magics cast with arithmetics cannot be reflected, also nice. As an example, you could select level for the base attribute, multiple of 5 for the algorithm, and the black magic fire as the effect to cast level 5 fire. All units whose levels are multiples of 5 will be hit with fire. So that's kind of how it works. There are 4 different algorithms, multiple of 3, multiple of 4, multiple of 5, and prime. The first 3 target units whose target attribute is a multiple of that number. For example, the algorithm multiple of 3 targets all units with values of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on for the selected attribute. Prime, on the other hand, targets all units with a prime number as the value of the selected attribute. A prime number is a number higher than 1 that can only be evenly divided by 1 in itself. These are the prime numbers less than 100, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 60, 31, 72, 73, 83, 89, 97. Okay. Pretty much. So, it's a pretty interesting ability, although a lot of times you'll end up targeting your own characters, so it can get kind of tricky to set that up properly. Then we have Geomancy. Geomancy taps into the magic of the natural environment for use in battle. Geomancy abilities depend on the terrain of the tile on which the user is standing. View the help message of the tile to see its Geomancy effect. Also a useful ability. It's like different depending on the environment you're in. Thrown and fire, weapon, item-dependent abilities. Some abilities may only be used when certain items are in the party inventory. These are the ninja's throw ability, the samurai's Aedo, and the chemist's items. Simply knowing these abilities is not enough. The unit must also have the requisite item. For example, the potion ability may only be executed when there is at least 1 potion in the party inventory. Each time the item or throw ability is used, 1 item in the party's possession will be consumed, and using Aedo will sometimes cause the katana to shatter. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, McDonald's, 17, Taco Bell. Thrown and fired weapons. If another unit or obstacle is in the line of fire when attacking with a bow, crossbow, or gun, the attack will not reach its intended target. There's a trick involving this that we'll go over later. This also applies to the Chemist's throw item ability. When the probability of success for these actions is displayed as 0%, it most likely means something is in the way of the target. Jumping. The jump attribute indicates how far a unit may jump. A unit may jump vertically, a difference in height equal to its jump attribute. However, a unit can jump only half that distance across a horizontal gap. These rules are automatically factored into your unit's movement ranges. Yeah, we got that. Water. Bodies of water on the battlefield, such as rivers and canals, may partially submerge units. Water tiles have the following effects. Walking is impeded, reducing movement range. Units cannot perform actions in water of depth 2. Yeah, I hate that because you're stuck underwater, so you can't act. Some monsters cannot enter water. That's also true. Weather. Uh-oh. We're going to get into some discussions. Weather in Ivalice can be divided into 2 alternating periods of the dry and the rains. Pisces, Aries, and Taurus are dry months. Gemini, Cancer are wet months. Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio are dry months. Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius are wet months. Weather patterns have the following effects during battle. Elemental magics are affected by strong rain. Fire magics are weakened, while ice and lightning magics are strengthened. Strong rain makes it more difficult to walk in swamps. So it's kind of interesting how the weather affects stuff. Reflect. The reflect status effect causes magics to bounce off the affected unit and strike a different tile. The tile hit is symmetric to the position of the caster and the original target. For example, if the caster was 2 tiles down and 1 tile left from the original target, the reflected magic will strike the tile 2 tiles up and 1 tile right from the original target. So if a magic gets reflected, it's not necessarily gonna hit the caster. Here's an example. A magic with a radius of 2 is cast by the unit at C, with square as the target tile. The 2 units marked R are within the magic's radius and affected by reflect. The tiles to which the magic is reflected are each marked X. So that's how that works. Traps. Tiles on the battlefield are sometimes armed with traps. Moving to such a tile will trigger the trap, causing one of the following effects. Sten Needle Trap, HP loss. Hypnogus Trap, sleep. Death Trap, doom. Degenerator, level loss. Yeah, you can actually lose a level with those, which really sucks. You definitely don't want that. Hidden items. These are very important. While a tile on the battlefield is armed with a trap, it is often for the purpose of protecting an item hidden on that tile. If a unit has the Chemist's Treasure Hunter ability, it can evade the trap and claim the hidden item. However, the trap will remain on the tile until sprung, even after the item has been found. So you can find items during battle, and these items are important because sometimes, especially later in the game, there are items that can only be found that way. So, Spoils of the Fallen. Once a unit has been KO'd, a countdown begins. If the unit is not revived before the count reaches 0, the unit will transform into a treasure chest or crystal and be lost forever. If the unit becomes a crystal, its equipment will be returned to the party inventory. If it becomes a treasure chest, the unit's items are not all automatically returned. Instead, one of the items will be placed within the chest on the battlefield. No, I think they're lost permanently. I think. Paper status effect. The hell? Okay, that was weird. Huh. Okay. Action states: charging, preparing to execute an ability such as a magic. Performing, continuously singing or dancing. Defending, taking a defensive stance after selecting the defend command. Beneficial effects: float. Move while hovering above the ground. Re-raise, automatically revive if KO'd. Invisible, move without being seen. Regen, gradually recovers HP. Protect, reduces damage from physical attacks. Shell, reduces damage from magical attacks. Haste, boosts speed, Hasty Steven style. Status ailments: sleep, unable to move or act. Poison, HP gradually decreases. Blind. Hit rate of physical attacks decreases. Oil. Weak against fire magics. Stone. Unable to move or act. Confuse. Perform random actions. Silence. Unable to cast magics. Toad. Restricts actions and weakens unit. Slow. Reduces speed. Stop. Unable to move or act. Immobilize. Unable to move. Disable. Unable to perform actions. Doom. KO'd when countdown reaches 0. Vampire. Turned into a vampire. That's an interesting one that you don't see very often. Undead. HP cannot be restored by normal means. Chicken. Flee in terror. Charm. Attack allies. Traitor. An enemy is made into an ally. Physical states. Critical. HP is at a very low level. KO, a countdown is leading to the unit's death. Others. Berserk. Boosts attack power but causes the unit to attack on its own. Atheist. Reduces faith, weakening the effects of magics cast both by and on the unit. Faith. Boosts faith, strengthening the effects of magics cast both by and on the unit. Reflect. Magics marked with are reflected. This affects both attack and recovery magics. Okay. Elements. The universe and all things within it are composed of 8 elements: earth, fire, wind, water, ice, lightning, holy, and dark. These elements and the relationships between them govern the fates of all beings. Although not everything in the universe has an elemental alignment, many units and items react to certain elements in special ways. In these cases, the following terms will be used to help text descriptions. Absorbs. Damage of the specified element is absorbed as HP. For example, when an ice-absorbing unit is attacked with the Black Magic Blizzard, the unit will recover HP instead of taking damage. Negates. Damage of the specified elements is negated. For example, when a lightning negating unit is attacked with a magic such as thunder, the unit receives no damage. Halves. Damage of the specified elements is halved. Weakness. Damage of the specified elements is increased. For example, if a unit with a weakness to fire is attacked with a fire magic, the unit will take more damage than another would. Boosts. Damage of the specified elements dealt by the unit is increased. For example, when a unit with a boost to ice command casts Blizzard, it will deal more damage than usual. Isn't that cool? Taverns. Taverns are located in cities and castles. At taverns, you can listen to the latest rumors in order to gain a better understanding of the events unfolding throughout the world. You can always hear about the last time Vegastar quit. You can also learn about various errands, such as treasure hunting and other odd jobs, and send units to complete them. Errands can be completed in the following manner. Yeah, okay, it's pretty simple. While sending units out on a task, it is important to take their bravery, faith, and abilities into consideration. Depending on the nature of the errand, the unit's job may also affect their chances of success. Once the allotted number of days has passed, your units will return to the same tavern from which they departed and give a report. After this report, the rewards and job points obtained by each unit will be shown. Different levels of success may be achieved for each task. An extremely successful errand can yield results great enough to be recorded in the Chronicle, such as the discovery of an ancient wonder or a lost artifact. Discovering enough of these will earn you honorary titles and such. Codio. Outfitters. In cities and castles, you will find outfitters, where you may buy and sell items. A menu with the following options will appear when you visit an outfitter. Buy, sell, fitting. We'll go over that when we get there. Shut up, man. Warriors Guilds. There is a Warriors Guild located in each city and castle on the world map. At these guilds, you can hire first-level squires into your employ. It costs nothing to see the squires who are available, so it may be worth your while to frequent the guild until you find a recruit to your liking. Warriors Guilds allow you to change the names of any monsters who have joined your party. Poachers Dens. Poachers Dens will appear in trade towns after a certain point in your adventure. The tradesmen at these guilds craft items from slain monsters and sell them to their members. In order to enter a Poacher's Den, you must assign the Poach ability to at least one unit. When a unit with the Poach ability slays a monster, guild craftsmen will use the remains to create items, which will then be sold at Poacher's Dens. Normal items are sold at half the price they would be at a conventional outfitter. And there are some items that can only be purchased at Poachers Dens. That's true, so we definitely won't want to get into that. Since post monsters are required to create the items sold at Poachers Dens, there is a limit to the number of items available. The quantity of each item in stock will be shown as you shop. As you poach more monsters, the inventory will expand. Which types of monsters are required to make specific items is a trade secret. Oh, wow. Scanning with square? Pressing square allows you to do several useful things. Review messages, page through item lists, search for enemies. You know how it is. Alright, we're finally done with the tutorial. Arm yourself with knowledge, and it will steel you for whatever you may encounter. We finally get to actually start the game! Hoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah, no.